right, we're live. All right. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to Newark Symphony Hall. My name is Andrew Binger, and I'm the Artistic Director of Yendor Theater Company. I'm excited to welcome you to this afternoon's presentation of Puerto Rican. Um, okay, Gabriel, we can hear you. Perfect. All right. So I definitely want to just make a few announcements before we jump into this presentation. Obviously, thank you all for being here. This is the 2021 Newark Arts Festival. We're excited to bring theater to the Newark Arts Festival for another year here at Newark Symphony Hall. It's been a really fantastic year for us at Yendor Theater Company, even in the midst of a pandemic, even though this is our first production in almost 2 years. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the back end of our organization that's been really great to lead to this moment. Earlier this year, we were welcomed into the New Jersey Theater Alliance, which is the alliance that organizes all professional theater here in the state of New Jersey. So that was a cool honor for us to be a part of that network. We also received the National Grant from the Black Seed, which is a initiative to fund black theaters throughout the country. So that was a great honor for us too. Last night they applauded for that. Y'all can applaud for that. All right. And earlier this year it was announced that Yendor Theater Company will be the theater in residence here at Newark Symphony Hall to program this black box space. And we'll be jumping into that more officially in 2022, but we didn't want to let the opportunity to program the space right here during the Arts Festival pass us by, so here we are. Also this year, we have a partnership that's in place, in motion with Waco Theater Center in California, which is headed by Richard Lawson, acting and film theater vet, and Miss Tina Knowles Lawson. So they've been tremendous. Okay, that deserves an applause too. They've been tremendous partners to us. We've been actually working on this for quite a few months, and we're excited to share it at the top of 2022. You might have seen Miss Tina was here, and the whole Waco team was here in the city of Newark just the week before last. She came and did a tour of Newark Symphony Hall, and it was great to have them and their leadership and their mentorship in this partnership, and we're so excited to work with them. So it's been a great year, and here we are at Newark Symphony Hall with our first presentation as a part of our theater in residency here. A few thank yous to the people that made this happen. To Tanisha Nash Laird, who is the CEO and president of Symphony Hall. It was her sort of leadership and her brain power and her trust in us at Yendor that allowed this partnership to happen. So we're so excited to be a part of that and to jump into working here in this black box. Thank you to Ebony Hubbard, who's the booking manager here at Symphony Hall, who helped us navigate through some of the challenges of producing live theater. This is the 2021 Newark Arts Festival, so we want to shout out the team at Newark Arts for putting on this festival every year. It's a lot of hard work. Shout out to Regina Barbosa, who's the executive director, Lauren Craig. Shout out to Marcia DePina, who's their board chair. It's a lot of work to put on all the activations that are happening through the city of Newark, or throughout the city of Newark during this weekend. So we thank them for their hard work. Have to shout out the Honorable Mayor Raj J. Baraka, as well as Fahimi Shakur, the Director of Arts and Cultural Affairs for the city of Newark. Have to shout out the entire team at Yendor. Nicolette Lynch, who's our managing director at Yendor Theater Company, who welcomed you all in. Kareem Willis and Malcolm Rowling, who are other business partners who are right now at our art exhibition gallery that's happening down the street at Launchpad Newark. If you have time after the show, you want to check out the gallery. It's amazing. It's dedicated to black art and expression. There's 100 pieces of art in a co-working space that is not fitted for art. We've taken over and transformed that space for the purposes of sharing black art. So if you're interested, the gallery will be open for just a little bit after the show. It's about a 5-minute ride down the street at 625 Broad Street, Launchpad Newark. So yeah, with that said, we're very excited to share this piece. It's a piece that I've seen in some iterations and videos before we decided to jump in to produce it. It was written and performed by Gabriel Hernandez, and it's sort of based on and inspired by his actual life. So we're so happy that he was willing to share this story with us. I think it's very powerful. The city of Newark is has a very large black population, but also a very large, strong population of Latinx people. And we think it's very important for us at Yendor Theater Company to do work that it explores some of the themes and ideas around that community and that population. So it's very important for us to program that work here in the city of Newark. And for the first time ever, we're live streaming our presentation. So a lot of people bought tickets live streaming. A lot of people bought some live stream tickets last minute. So I just want to shout them out in the virtual world. Thank you for joining us and for your patience in the live stream world. So there's not much else for me to say for it right now. I do also want to shout out Jorge Merced, who directed this. They put this together in just like a day here in the space. So we're really excited to share this work with you. Without further ado, this is Puerto Rican, written and performed by Gabriel Hernandez. Thank you.
Imagine a park, if you will. Just an ordinary urban playground. We find ourselves on the wrong side of the river. The Hudson River, that is, in the great state of New Jersey. The armpit of New York, if you want to be a dick about it. Now, Washington Park sits directly on the border between Union City and Jersey City. You heard the ditty, observe the dizzying displays of witticisms for days. My brain's amazed like that dirty Jersey haze. Now, Jersey City's pretty diverse for what it's worth. Got folks from every single last spot on the earth. Mostly working class, white and black, South Asian and Latin, on a cliff right across the water from Manhattan. Now, as it happens, our story concerns a parent, an ordinary dad trying to hack it as a captain. But will his vessel prove seaworthy? It's mid-morning, say 10:30 on a Thursday. Early spring, there's a chill in the air. Park is mostly empty. Kids are in school or daycare. I spy a jungle gym. I spy a swing set. I spy a deflated balloon that's been stuck in the same tree for no fewer than 6 months. Ooh, there go some birds. Oh, there goes some bird shit. Ooh, let's enjoy a surprisingly well-manicured patch of grass. Ooh, but alas, an ungodly amount of trash. Ooh, and there's Dad. Haplessly trying to get his little son down for nap 1 now. This should be fun. See, the thing about dads is they're trying their best, but what's sad is their best is still kind of a mess. So we congratulate them when they do something basic like changing a diaper so nasty you can taste it. Let's face it, the rules dictate a split rate, and when we switch places, it might cause a spit take, to say nothing of being mixed race. Forget common sense or any aforementioned version of manly incompetence, because Dad's got a bigger job today than to use. The world's rude, ego's bruised, #mood. You might say he's on the verge of an existential crisis. He's questioning his brownness as it relates to his whiteness, as it relates to this child who shares his name and likeness. Well, maybe not his likeness. This little tyke's an ice prince. And can a kid who's a quarter Puerto Rican carry a Puerto Rican license? Something tells me we're about to find out. Do I smell an epiphany in the air? MC Plátano sure does love the smell of an epiphany on a brisk spring morning. Let's go meet Dad and see how he epiphanizes, if he does at all. Epiphany, 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 epiphany. Oh, hush thee, my dove. Oh, hush thee, my rowan. Oh, hush thee, my lapwing, my little brown bird. Shh. Oh, fold thy wings and seek thy nest now. Oh, shine the berry on the bright tree. The bird is home from the mountain and valley. Oh, ho, hiri, kajugulo. Oh, ho, hiri, kajugulo. Okay. We have liftoff. Or whatever the opposite of that is. Crash landing. Yeah, you never know with a stroller nap. It's the Wild West of nap locales. We're starting to skip this morning nap sometimes, so I think we're closing in on just one, but hard to know for sure. Feels like we just went from 3 to 2. I had to get used to that. How do you know? Too many unknowns in this line of work, right? How's your morning going? Great. We got ourselves a beautiful day today, at least. All this rain these past few days was killing me. I feel like my parenting improves by at least 50% when I get to be outside, right? Love me some early spring. And my little brother used to cry when the seasons changed. He's got a poetic soul. What's your favorite season? My wife, she loves the fall. I think she's crazy. Days are getting colder, each one shorter than the last. Shit is dying. None of the imagery is particularly pleasant. Sorry, I haven't done much talking to grown-ups these past couple weeks, or really this past year. Cool. Well, now that that's settled, she's beautiful. What's her name? Corazon. I dig it. Well, what should we do till the kids wake up? You want to sing Wheels on the Bus and share this bottle of cyanide pills? Not, buddies. Oh, that song? I don't know. My wife started singing it a few months ago. It's become our sort of go-to bedtime song. It's like Celtic or Gaelic or Druid or something. Stonehenge. Yeah, I have no idea what the end means. I don't even think I'm pronouncing it right. Well, I guess I'll take gibberish over most of the weird stuff we got in the canon. Like, okay, you know this one. Rock-a-bye baby on the treetops. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come baby, cradle and all. Is that a metaphor? Sounds like a baby falling out of a tree. Yeah, that sounds like a baby in critical condition. Somewhere in between. I'm not exactly a stay-at-home dad. Well, it depends on the day, I guess. I work from home most of the time. I'm a graphic designer, but This kid is getting too mobile for me to actually get anything done, so we're starting to think about daycares. How about you? Oh, word. Is this spring break already? Ah, I hear you. What subject do you teach? Yeah, I hated math. Nah, tell me about it. My parents are both retired teachers. No, not for me. My wife is a college librarian, so I get plenty of reminders all the time why I would never survive working in education. Where's Corazon on a typical weekday? Oh, word. Okay, civil servant power couple. Y'all gonna have some great pensions. Hold up. Now, what on God's green earth is going on here? I know what you're thinking. Hitchcockian conceit. Two strangers meet in a park, bond over the miseries of parenthood, agree to help each other out by murdering each other's children. You people are sick. Good thing he's got the kid with him. With that neck beard, takes his threat level down from a 9 to like a 4. Okay, 5. Let it be noted, though, this is not Dad's normal steez, rolling up on random people and chatting with them. Must be the lack of sleep. Or maybe it's the fact that he's about to get some news today. And it's the kind of news that could change the way he thinks about his parenting. Could change the way he thinks about who his kid is at all, if we're going to get real telenovela about it. In the meantime, though, I wonder, what can our lost little dad learn from his new friend? I wish I were in my 60s right now. My parents are both making like $2,500 a month for doing nothing. It's just existing, being old. Yeah, that money's gonna be long gone by the time we... He is a he, actually. Yeah. That's powerful, right? Pink. Like the symbolism of it. What do you mean, sure? Well, you just thought my child was a girl because of the color of his blanket. Think about that. I don't know. I think we do need to bust out the gender studies shit right now. No, but seriously though, like the color pink at all, there's nothing like it. Like when we mix blue and white, does it become a whole different entity? Does it get a new name? No, we call it light blue, right? Maybe a sky blue. When we mix yellow with white, we call it pale yellow, soft yellow. So how come when we mix red with white, we don't call it light red? How did pink become a color at all? Let alone such a thing with all its associations and innuendos, with all its normative gender implications. You know, I actually looked into this, right? Did you know that as recently as 80 years ago, pink was considered a masculine color? Hey, I'm just asking questions, you know, because I just grabbed the blanket because it was clean. You know what I mean? I didn't think too hard about it. It was just a blanket. Whatever, I'm clearly barking up the wrong tree. Corazon is out here dressed up in some sparkly little My Little Pony looking. Okay, all right. Touche. Damn. Did you pierce your ears? Why? Fair enough. I wonder what the laws are. Like, obviously, in our society, earrings are super normal, right? We see them on baby girls all the time, don't even think twice. But, like, what if I pierce this kid's navel? He's running around this summer in the sprinklers with a little cubic zirconia belly button stud, some nipple rings, tasteful small tattoo on his forearm. You think somebody called DCF on me? He's going to be a year old in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Adrian, or Adrian, if you're speaking to him in Spanish. We wanted a name that was beautiful in both languages. Yeah, I do. I can get by. I was raised with it, but I'm English dominant. I'm trying to speak to him only in Spanish, but I don't think I can do that forever. I'm Puerto Rican, actually. Half. My dad. I don't know, maybe something small. I don't really understand baby parties. They have no idea what's going on, so what's the point, right? Nah, he's actually not even babbling yet. I think my wife is starting to get concerned. I was using her computer the other day, and there was an open Google search. 11-month-old only making monkey noises. Should I be worried? Nah, I hear you. Look, I'm not in a rush. He'll talk when he talks. And once he starts talking, that means he's a conversation partner, and that's way scarier. See, I mean, it's easy to say random shit to your kid in Spanish before they can respond. Whole different animal when they start replying in English or whatever. What did you think I was? Like, my background. The gift and the curse of passing. But surely you must have had some impression, even if it wasn't fully formed. One of those is he or isn't he white boys. Wish I hadn't asked. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the rules changing. You know, when I was a kid, being mixed was weird. Now it's normal. Shit, being mixed is in vogue. People will be like, oh, you're half Norwegian, half Egyptian, half Samoan? Amazing, me too. 20 years ago, it was confusing. I started feeling like I had to justify shit or like, I don't know, earn my last name or something. I had a teacher in middle school who used to call me Pablo. My name's Danny, though. Pablo was like his nickname for me. Mr. Broussard, we used to call him Mr. Bruce. He was super dour and professorial. I had trouble connecting with our age group, but for whatever reason, he took a liking to me. Yeah, by calling me Pablo. I don't know, he wasn't trying to punk me, though. It was more of an inside joke, a term of endearment, even. I liked it, though. I think some part of me must have known that it had to do with Latino-ness. And as a halfie, felt like a little piece of validation. Es la balada de Pablo. Yo quiero ser tu amigo. Si necesitas algo, aquí estaré listo. Pablo dice que no, nunca dice que no. Pablo dice que sí, siempre dice que sí. Pablo tiene bigote, lleva sombrero y come rice and beans. Pablo dice que no, nunca dice que no. Pablo dice que sí, siempre dice que sí. Pablo tiene bigote, lleva sombrero y come rice and beans. Wow, what an interesting mix you are. Hispanic and Jewish? How did your parents meet? Funny you should ask. Pops was a bodeguero, and Mama Dukes used to roll up into his shop in the morning and get coffee, and he would chat her up, talk to her about his island. And she would be like, do you have any Jews in Puerto Rico? And he would say, of course. Orange juice, cranberry juice, pineapple juice. Es la balada de Pablo. Me gusta ser tu token. El inglés casi no hablo. Aunque nací en Hoboken. Pablo dice que no, nunca dice que no. Pablo dice que sí, siempre dice que sí. Pablo dice que se chinguen los gringos con una sonrisa feliz. Pablo dice que se chinguen los gringos con una sonrisa feliz. Que se chinguen los gringos con una sonrisa feliz. Hey, Pablo, my family's going island hopping for spring break. Any advice on where we should stay in Puerto Rico? Yeah, I'm from Jersey. You trying to stay with my grandma in her little ass house in San Lorenzo? Here, let me give you her number. Oh, nah, she doesn't live anywhere near the beach, but maybe if you ask nicely, she'll put an umbrella in your pina colada. Ding, 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 ding. Es la balada de Pablo, pero mi nombre es Daniel. En tu racismo me cago. Aborigen siempre fiel. Pablo dice que no. Pablo dice que no. Pablo dice que no. Pablo dice que no. Pablo le dice a su hijo, tal vez tú tendrás más suerte que yo. Tal vez tú tendrás más suerte que yo. That onesie, though. Quisqueya la bella. I almost couldn't read it. I was blinded by all that gender-neutral glitter. If you had caught us yesterday, you would have seen him in his little coquí ensemble, tocando el cuatro ahí enfrente del morro and everything. So you're Dominican. How about your husband? Cool. I've never seen you before either. Nah, this is our first time here. I don't know, just, doing some adventuring with the boy, checking out a new park. I'm from Hoboken originally. Oh, no, actually, I went to a private high school in Manhattan. Yeah, so I left for a stretch and made my way back, and my wife and I have lived in Hoboken these past few years. We met in college. Yale. Stop. What do you mean by that? I guess the Irish lullaby telegraphed it, huh? Yeah, she's white. But yo, she's not just white. She's as white as it gets. She's got literal Mayflower ancestors, if you could believe that. She's from Rhode Island. Full disclosure, my white mother is also from Rhode Island. I guess Freud was right about some of the shit he was saying. Actually, we didn't start dating right away. We were friends first for a long time. You know what? That's a great look in terms of building a foundation, establishing a bond. You know what? It's not such a great look when you tell her some shit you wouldn't necessarily said to your girl, because she's your homie. But then she becomes your girl, and she doesn't all of a sudden forget what you told her back when y'all were just friends. Nah, nothing like that. I told my wife very early on in our friendship that I only imagined myself marrying a Latina. Otherwise, happy that I am, my kids would only be 25% Latino. Exactly. You can't control who you fall in love with. That succeeded only in giving my wife a complex. Yeah, but you know what? No regrets. Anytime you have the opportunity to give a white person a racial complex, you got to take advantage of it. Besides, he's going to be Boricua regardless. I have only been doing this designer thing for a couple years. Before that, I was making music. It's hard, though. It's hard to get paid consistently doing that. Hip-hop. Yes, as an adult. Jay-Z is in his 50s, thank you very much. Yeah, you want to know who my alter ego was? MC Plátano. Okay, I've had this fight before. How dare you? Nobody's jacking nobody's swagger. So first of all, I didn't grow up around that many Dominicans, right? So I didn't know Plátanos were like, y'all sting. We eat Plátanos too, damn. So then I get to college, I become friends with some Dominican cats, and I find out you guys love Plátanos so much you eat them for breakfast, and what? I'm supposed to just change my alias? Because you think you got a monopoly on all things Plátano? Get out of here. Oh, nah, she's supportive. She's cool. I mean, she's white, but she did her damnedest to be as unwhite as possible. But like, in a cool way, if that makes any sense. If she was one of those down for the cause gringas. If she majored in ethnicity, race, and migration. She studied abroad in Venezuela. If she was in the black a cappella group that exclusively sang music of the African diaspora. If she even started rapping with me And she's a beast. Her stage name was Hermione Danger. I used to call her Nikki Caucasian. Yeah, she speaks even better Spanish than I do. But blood is blood. And he sure as fuck was not prepared for those lily white summers on the Cape, or getting his Squanto on every Thanksgiving at Indigenous Holocaust Ground Zero. I'm thankful for my family and I'm thankful for the harvest. I'm thankful for this turkey that my grandfather is carving. I'm thankful that we're here and that we love one another. The world is very scary, but at least we have each other. Now, what's a good Latino boy supposed to do with that shit? He was dropped off at Plymouth Rock without a dinner jacket. Everybody's name is Mary, Jeremy, or Patrick. What they call Holy Trinity, he just calls a hat trick. Now, that's just surface level. Let's not get into the politics. They're liberal, but it's not the same. We can all acknowledge it. He tries to fade into the wall, avoiding people all night. If you got nothing nice to say nothing at all, right? Covered in the trenches because his mother-in-law flinches. Every time he even hints at some discomfort, she starts wincing. And his principles are squashed between the butternut and the stuffing. And he wonders when it's going to come out, just how much he's bluffing. He swallows so much more than food. He's burying the bile, does the dishes that are screaming, this is vicious, this is vile. It's not a style, but he's married, so he fucking eats it. Every year, come November, rinses and repeats it. All the while trying not to go straight up berserk and ask, are we addressing the genocide during hors d'oeuvres or dessert? But then he thinks, it's too late. There's no way to save me. So he shuts his mouth, holds out his hands. Could you please pass the gravy? Blood is blood, isn't it? And having a little light-skinned spawn to show for your interracial marriage isn't the only consequence of mejorando la raza. You'll fall in love with a white person. That's one thing. Becoming the new brown adopted son of a whole white family, that's a whole different thing. Even a liberal white family. I don't know, not that. Like, yo, my mother-in-law is the type of silly-ass, clueless white lady who be doing, like, these little flamenco hands anytime she, like, says a Spanish word. Dumb shit like that. Or she'll start accidentally speaking in whatever accent she happens to hear around her at the time. Like, from a server at a restaurant or whatever. Makes going to Indian joints a real problem. Her daughters call it her empathic ear. Y'all be feeling murderous. Oh, like when he's applying to college? Yeah, sure, he'll check the box. Why not? He's Puerto Rican. Okay, blood is blood. I was talking about my wife's blue-blooded family in jest. Sure, everybody's mixed up. This kid's a 21st century baby through and through. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. That doesn't mean he can't also be super Latino, right? Pardon me, super Latinx. Latinx? Oh, nah, I can't have my identity label rhyme with Kleenex. Nah, but on the real, I'm cool with Latinx. Latinx is dope, however it's pronounced. Especially for a little boy. Gotta start those crush the patriarchy lessons early, right? Yo, you wanna know how we found out we were having a boy? We were at one of the early appointments, and we're sitting there in this exam room, and this ultrasound tech comes in, and she's like, were you guys trying to find out the sex of the child before birth? And we were like, yeah, we were hoping to. And she's like, okay, well, at 3 months, it's usually a bit too early to tell, but It has a third leg, if you know what I mean. Cue the rapture. Cue the whooping, the flexing, the dancing. Oh, cue that caveman shit. That primordial euphoria. Now known to be a chauvinist, but damn if he's not showing his true colors in this moment of discovery. Didn't think he had a preference. If you'd ask him, he would say, I don't care, just give me healthy. But yo, that was yesterday before this ultrasound technician said that little magic phrase. A third leg, you heard that? My son's got dick for days. And it's more than just a penis. I mean, yes, that shit's important. But as soon as this kid's born, he'll come storming on the court. He's going to be a force of nature. He can knock down any castle. He screams out gleefully, my son is going to be an asshole. He's going to be a wild man. We'll get into some trouble. We'll blow shit up and throw shit down and gloat in all the rubble. And this bubble can't be burst. Certainly not by women's tears. By the lady that he loves whose face is filled with fear. Seeing his joy about this boy, he hasn't noticed that his wife is sitting in the corner crying about this little life inside her. So fired up, he can't see. It's not the right move. He's clucking while she's thinking, great, another fucking white dude. For once in Danny's life, he's not focusing on the race shit. He's deeper. This is underneath his social, emotional basement. Tapped into the baseness, a song as yet unsung. His little boy may not be brown, but at least he will be hung. That moment right there in that exam room, that's the Michael Jordan fadeaway jumper to seal the 1998 NBA title of his toxic masculinity highlight reel. He looks over at his wife. She is weeping. He ignores her. He can't let some rain cloud fuck with his championship parade, can he? Boom, 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 boom. That's crazy, right? That's the language with which the sex of my child was communicated to me. My wife was actually really upset about it for a while. Nah, not even the third leg comment. The fact that we were having a boy at all. I think there was a certain horror associated with carrying this strange creature around inside of her and then bringing yet another man into the world, which I get, insofar as a man could ever get that. Nah, but that's basic. I don't want kudos for that. Like, is that how bad men are? Damn. Like, old ladies will swoon when they see me buying diapers in a Walgreens or whatever. That's how low the bar is for men. Or like I'm on a train with the baby and people are looking at me like I'm about to go donate a kidney to a stranger. I'm just riding the subway with my son trying to get someplace. Point A to point B. Some pretty mundane shit. Can we please hold the applause? I guess men are just that monstrous. But it's not just men. It's our men. A few years ago, we bought an apartment, and one of the last steps we had to take before we could be approved for the mortgage was I had to sign all these documents confirming that I wasn't the Daniel Rodriguez who was wanted in this state or that state for some crime or other. Yeah, you know what almost all the crimes were? Unpaid child support. Yeah, there were dozens of them. I sat there, silent, barely breathing in this random office with these white lawyer men and these white mortgage broker men looking on. My wife shooting me these ill, helpless, sympathetic glances. And I had to just grit my teeth and initial DR over and over again for like 45 minutes. Verifying that I wasn't that shitty Daniel Rodriguez from Delaware or Massachusetts or Florida who had abandoned his family and stopped sending money to his kid, who had to have his hand forced by the law to do the bare minimum as a father. And I wondered how thick the dossier might be if my name was Daniel Henderson. Some shit. For sure. Nah, look, it's a poverty thing, right? Like, Men are shitty all over the planet. It's not like in our culture there's less of an emphasis on family or loyalty or whatever. If anything, it's the opposite. But then we come here and we get stripped of our freedom and our dignity and our agency, and the worst qualities wind up coming out. Now, exactly. It's all about being intentional. That's what I'm trying to do with his identity. Instill in him a sense of pride in his culture. Little ways, here and there. I don't know. No, that's not quite fair. It's not a choice for me. Like, I identify as Puerto Rican because I was raised that way. Also, that's how society has related to me for the most part. Today's little white-presenting moment notwithstanding. Maybe I'm being precious. How about if he was 1/8? Shit, I'd claim Puerto Ricanness for him if he had 1 drop. That's an old story. 1 drop's enough in this country. I spat in a cup. I found out I was like 6% indigenous. Hey, I rep my Native Americanness. Look, I'm not particularly interested in getting into debate about numbers and percentages. That's not really the point for me. Okay, so what? My kid's white. I'm white too. There's plenty of white Puerto Ricans. That's not new. It doesn't have to be either or. But that's not the kind of whiteness I'm talking about. The kind of whiteness that scares me is like white. Like culturally white, all-American whiteness. Like my grandparents were Welsh or German or whatever, but now we're like nothing. That kind of neutral, melting pot success story, American dream type of shit, that type of whiteness. I really thought he would defy the odds or something. We're getting ready to leave the hospital, and he was pretty cute for a newborn. Crucially, nice and tan. I was like, yo, this kid's gonna look Latino after all. But then everybody started talking about how jaundiced he was. Doctors and nurses were like, yo, he's jaundiced. Keep an eye on it. He's got an appointment in a couple of days. It's normal, usually goes away on its own, but if it doesn't, we'll get him under the Billy Rubin lights to get rid of it. I'm like, jaundiced? What are y'all talking about? He looks great. I'm kind of yellow. What's the matter with these gringos? They never seen a good-looking, well-hung yellow boy before? God damn. It turns out he was mad jaundiced. So we got him under the lights, and they turned him back into the mostly Caucasian child we always feared he was destined to be. I'll just have to teach him how to be Puerto Rican. Like formally. I'll formally teach him how to be Puerto Rican. The sound of some shit clicking into place. An urgent memory is triggered. See, Dad's got this homegirl from middle school who's a lot like him. Half Colombian, half Jewish woman, married to a white boy. They had a kid about a year before he and his wife did. A little mixed up but fluorescently white presenting, beautiful baby girl. So they go to meet the new member of the family. And in a private moment, his homegirl turns to him with a sober fucking look on her face and offers him these stone-cold cautionary words. Get ready to have a white baby. Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to have the Anglo child you never wanted, would you capture it or just let it slip? His pits are sweaty, voice weak, heart is heavy, his progeny's destined for whiteness, and he's just not ready to face the music. He knew it. He's choking and coughing to soften the blow of having Caucasian offspring is haunting. He talks in circles purposely wanting to have his cake and eat it too, but his kid is whiter than frosting. Back to what's relevant. Oh, there's no medicine to take or give his wife, so their kid has more melanin. He's hell-bent on getting value out this white elephant. He'll turn his kid brown even if there's no precedent. Your boy's white. Time to reckon with the fact that your boy's white. Wrap your head around the stats, yo, your boy's white. Feeling dread, but just relax, because your boy's white. He's so white. A eureka moment to make Archimedes proud. He'll turn his kid brown, even if it's not allowed. He's shitting on his son, but he shouldn't. Time to focus if he's gonna make them bleque from vanilla pudding. Feeling wooden, frozen by his homie's words, but he knows that there's a mission, so he tightens up the spurs. Observe, his son is not an ordinary caulk. White's the default, but they got different kinds of chalk, so it's time to color outside the lines. Fuck a quarter, fuck a nickel, fuck a dime. Is he crazy for imagining a tiny Frankenstein? Can his son be Puerto Rican in his mind? Your boy's white. Time to reckon with the fact that your boy's white. Take a second, grab a snack, yo, your boy's white. Check your ego, watch your back, because your boy's white. He's so white. Your boy's white. He's white. His boy's white. So he's going to turn him brown. That sounds easy enough. Rachel Dolezal did it. How hard could it be? The real question, though, is he trying to fix his son's Puerto Ricanness? Or is he trying to fix his own? What do you get? Like, when they guess your background, what do they guess? Stupid. You know, one time, my little brother was a baby, and this random man in an aquarium rolled up on my mom and was like, "Is your son an adopted Australian Aborigine?" Que cojones. My mom, though, because she's my mom, bless her, she was like, "Why, yes. How did you know?" We were on vacation in Australia, and all the American tourists were bringing home these baby koala bears, but I said, "No, I want one of those little Aboriginal children. They're so cute." Yeah, she's a G. Yo, this kid is 11 months old. Not a single person has asked me what he is yet. Ooh. I feel like that's a bad sign. Like, I'd be low-key pleased if people started, though, guessing wild shit. It would mean he had gotten browner looking. Because, like, right now, it'd be, "Oh, your son is adorable. Is he a Swede? Is he a Dane? Is he from Antarctica? I'll take Australian Aborigine. That's dope." I know. Look, I'm just trying to get all this out my system before he can understand me. You know, that's all. Bendito. You know, too bad we gave this cat the most ethnic name possible. Adrián Dionisio Rodriguez. Damn, yo. This little white boy's gonna have some serious explaining to do. Even by 5th grade, with a name like that, shit, people are gonna be expecting a mustache and a Panama hat. Instead, they're gonna get this little dirty blonde, blue-eyed, rosy-cheeked Blanquito. So look, all this stuff is on my mind, especially today, because we're gonna find out later on if we won the lottery for this bilingual daycare. Well, then I can share the burden of teaching this kid Spanish. So I can focus on other stuff, like the other parts of his training. But yo, we gotta knock the language thing down, though. If that's not covered, I'm lost. Mi escuelita, it's pretty close here. I know it's just a small piece of the puzzle, but it's gonna make a huge difference for me. So I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. That way, instead of having to teach a language I only half know, I can teach him the other parts about being Puerto Rican. Like, really teach him. You're teaching your daughter how to be Dominican. You just don't have to think that much about it because it's second nature to you. Your plátano osmosis will just happen organically. I'm going to have to get real specific with my process. If my kid is going to be mostly white, then I got to make sure that the not white part pops. I got to make sure that little Puerto Rican sliver glows and burns and shit. Like Harry Potter's scar. giving him special powers. You never read Harry Potter? You're missing out. Okay, forget teaching. I'm just making an offering, giving him the keys, and then if he wants to go through that door, he can. My kid needs a toolbox, some tangible way to connect this little baby to his Puerto Rican heritage. My son needs a Boricua starter kit. Pollito, chicken, gallina, hen, lápiz, pencil, and pluma pen. So this is Dad's big plan? My dude is relying on pollito, chicken, gallina, hen to legitimize his son's Puerto Rican identity? What could go wrong? Bro, you know anybody can speak Spanish, right? Los chinos in this neighborhood, todos hablan español. And Mexican Spanish at that. Does that make them Mexican? But now he's on a roll and there ain't no stopping him. A Boricua starter kit. Why didn't he think of it before? What the fuck to put in it, though? Ding 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 ding. Boricua starter kit, item number 1, Spanish. The Spanish language is one undeniable way to connect to La Isla del Encanto. For better or worse, I mean, fuck the empire, but nobody in Aguadilla is speaking Taíno or saying random shit in Yoruba or whatever. Gotta have some Spanish under your belt. But in an English-dominant household, where to begin feeding him those sounds, creating that linguistic architecture? One of the answers for Dad will be music, with mealtime as an obvious arena for songwriting. Pear. Pera, 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 te. Pera, 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 te. Pera, 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 te. Pera, 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 te. Yogurt. Qué rico es el yogur, qué nutritivo. Qué delicioso es el yogur para Chulito. Pirate's booty. A ti te gusta el culo de pirata. Pues cómete ese culo, el culo de pirata. A Boricua starter kit. Yo, this is it. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. Some Fat Joe CDs. Malta Goya. Some Vaporub. Furnitura covered in plastic. Yeah, all the important shit. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit down and make a list. She's got jokes. She's got jokes. She said we should put some shoes in the kit. Well, wouldn't you like to know? This kid doesn't own a single pair of shoes. It's late March also. It's pretty warm out today. It's supposed to hit like 70 degrees later. Yo, I'm dead ass. Why would I even bother spending money on shoes before this kid can walk? That's not white. That's Jibaro power. Alive and well in the tri-state area. Look, I'm pretty sure that if and when this kid gets sick, it'll be from the many disgusting germs all over this park, not from having chilly feet in early spring or whatever. We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. I'm pretty sure this kid is going to wear some little pink shorts and a Roberto Clemente jersey and be barefoot with a septum piercing. Here's to democracy. Oh, here? I like it. I like it a lot. It's dope. It's different from our normal park. Well, let me give you an example. When I first saw you from across the playground, but before I had gotten a good look at the baby and seen her up close, I assumed that you were a nanny and she would be a white baby that you were taking care of. I was like surprised to see that Corazon was your kid. That's crazy, right? I think so. Like, that's how dominant that particular dynamic is in Hoboken. I didn't realize how much it had seeped in, how conditioned I had become by it. Shit infects you. You know, where I live, when you see brown women pushing strollers, there are not brown babies in those strollers. I guess so. But yo, I'm from there, and it didn't used to be like that. Feels like Hoboken's got more French bulldogs than people of color these days. Pretty troubling.